What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach, and in today's video, we're answering the question of how to change a datetime object to a date in Python. So without further ado, let's hop right in and start coding. So to convert a datetime object to a date in Python is actually really simple because of the datetime package and module. So essentially, if we go and get our current date, so we can do that by saying cur date is equal to, and of course you need to import this datetime package. This comes with Python. So if you just go in and import it, then you can go datetime.datetime, and we'll go .now. So if you were given a datetime object like cur date, when you print it out, you should see cur date, and what I'll do is I'll wrap this actually in an F string, and I'll just say something like this. And we'll come down here and we'll just print out the cur date object as well as basically a divider to show that we're going to divide it up afterwards. So if I go ahead and I run this, you'll see that I get something here that says the cur date is equal to, and then this datetime object that says February 4th, 2024, and then the current time in hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So that's the object. It has all that information. It has both the date and time. Now, if I were also just to say, come over here and say cur date, this will also print out the date in a formatted string, which you'll see the formatted string right here. So this is the actual object information. This is kind of their string representation when it gets printed out. Now to convert off and basically just give us this date and not this date time, we can leverage a simple function. So to see what that simple function is, we can simply say cur date and then dot. And now this will pop up everything that, with the IntelliSense. If you're using an IDE such as VS Code, which I use often, it'll have this IntelliSense pop up showing you here's all the different functions as well variables that can be accessed. Now, if you don't have this, you can go look it up in the documentation by just Googling Python documentation for datetime, and that'll also bring you up the documentation that'll show you these exact same functions. But that's the benefit of using an IDE, is you kind of get that IntelliSense for free, right? So essentially, we look through this, and the first one that pops up is date, which says it return the date part. We could also say as time zone, combine, ctime, dis, from some sort of from calendar, ISO calendar, format, now, replace, all these different functions that we can use. Time, so we can also just get the time portion. But we're going to scroll back up. We're going to use this date function. And now if I rerun this and I say print out, and we'll just do this exact same thing. We'll say cur date time here. We'll replace this here. Cur date time, and then we'll say cur date time, and then this one would be the cur date, right? So cur date is equal to this object, and we'll go ahead and print this out. And essentially what we should see is if we rerun this, so above the line, you'll have the current datetime.datetime object that has all the date information and the time information. And then below the line, you'll see it's now a date object. So basically, we reformatted this to a new class. And this Python, or the Python datetime package, essentially has several different classes in it. Datetime, date being two of them. And they just have, because it's all made within this one package, it makes it for an easy transition from the date information or the date time information to a date. Now, I like to often use the date time because as I'm doing something, or if I have to do this now thing, I get the exact time. And then if I ever want to use just the date portion or just the time portion, I can run the associated functions with that. That'll give us just the date or just the time or a timestamp or whatever sort of thing that we need. So out of this result, we were able to take a current datetime object and using the date function, able to convert it to just the date information. So if we were going to use it as a string or format it or anything like that, you're just going to get the date portion, which in our case is February 4th of 2024. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions about that, please leave them in the comments below. And if you have any other topics that you want to cover, again, please feel free to fill out the Google form below. Basically, you can put in whatever questions that you have regarding Python, software development, and I'll do my best to answer and help you along your programming journey because we're all in this together. And I hope you found this useful. So if you have, please hit the subscribe and hit the like button. And until next time, keep on programming.